Howdy. Wow, I don't know if I'm going to sing anything, but I just tuned this 12-string guitar. Now, the amazing thing about the 12-string guitar, it was way out of tune, and it still sounded good. I'm surprised at how good it sounded. I mean, it wasn't even consistently out of tune. I mean, the strings on here were like a whole step. Some of them were a step and a half. A couple of them were like a whole 2 steps out. I mean, I had to tune it twice, because by the time I was done, went back up to the low E, and it was a half step low. It was a half step flat. Still, tuned it up when I started on my way down, or on my way up. On the way up, it was tuned. By the time I got all the way to the high E, the high E tuned it up, but then went back to the low E, and it was half step flat. It's like, oh, but it still sounded good. I mean, I strummed it, and it's like, it still sounded good. It's crazy. Maybe it's why I love the 12-string guitar, because I'm really not that good. Anyway, I figured I'd make this video. What the hell? You know? I'm just going to play it like I do sometimes. And I got to say something. I've been playing guitar since I was 19 years old. My mom found me Orpheus, some off-brand. I don't know. I've never seen another one, but it was one of those electric acoustics with the L holes, big hollow body. I loved it. It was a 12-string, but it had a couple of bad tuning keys on it, so I only strung it with 6. I always played it with 6 strings. Tuned it with 12 when I first got it, but I had to constantly tune it because a couple of tuning keys were stripped, so they went out of tune. I mean, actually, for a while, I had it was like 9 strings on it, which was cool because the ones on the high side were the ones that were doubled. It was the ones on the low side that were singled. So it was kind of neat. I got to play an Alvarez 9-string once when I was in a music store, and it was actually pretty cool because it was the same way. It was the high strings, 3 high strings were doubled, 3 low strings were not. I don't know. I might do that with this one, but these tuning keys are great. I mean, this is a Garrison. It's funny because I had just been reading about Garrisons and the whole plight of Garrison that happened with them with Gibson. And now Gibson promised that they were going to keep making them in the Canadian plant. And the guy that owned the Garrison company that started building the guitars was brilliant. I don't think he even played, but he's kind of like Leo Fender. I don't think Leo Fender plays, but he's great. He's a great guitar designer. You know, I mean, I don't think DeLorean really even drove his DeLorean. A lot of people don't know DeLorean designed the GTO, Gran Turismo Obbligato. You know, and he designed it for himself. GMC said, hey, we like that. That looks cool. So we got GTOs. Pontiac GTOs. Pontiac is no more. It's a shame. You can't actually buy a Trans Am anymore. They got Trans Am kits. You can take a Camaro and convert it to a Trans Am, but is that really a Trans Am? I got to drive 78 and 79 for a while. Miss those cars. Great cars. Especially 78. I love that car. Last Trans Am with a grill. Then they went with the sleek body. 78 was the last one with a grill. It was actually a 77. I've been told, because I got corrected, I thought it was a 78 and Smokey and the Bandit, but it wasn't. It was a 77. Been corrected on that a couple times now. 77 wasn't that different from 78, but that's why I always thought it was a 78 in Smokey and the Bandit. But it was actually 77. And I thought it was so cool that there was a company that actually made 100 custom Trans Ams out of the new Camaros, dressed them like a Trans Am, beefed up the motor, and then had Burt Reynolds sign them. I mean, oh, lucky bastards. There's 100 people out there that got one of these cars that have a dashboard signed by Burt Reynolds. That's pretty cool. And that last movie star movie, that was pretty cool too. I'm glad Burt got to do that before he died. Good movie. Actually teared up. But anyway, that's got nothing to do with me playing the guitar. I guess a little homage to Bert. Smoking Bandit. Last movie star. 100 really cool cars. That there's 100 people out there that had enough money to buy one of those doggone things, because they're pretty expensive. They're pretty nice too. There's a nice video on YouTube with the guys that did the custom shop that did them, and Bert's in it, and they actually show him signing one of the cars, the dashboard. Burt Reynolds' name, signature, autograph right there on the dashboard. It's really cool. Anyway, I'm just going to play this thing. Just improvising. I started out, my mom got me my first guitar when I was 19. It was an Orpheus. I vowed when I started playing guitar that I wasn't going to learn covers because I wanted to develop my own style. I'm really just now starting to learn covers. I know a few covers because I learned them. I call them the picnic covers. And it's fun. It's fun to play music that people know, you know, Hotel California and songs like that. Don't really play them well, but I play them well enough for a picnic, you know, where people are drinking beer, eating hot dogs, hamburgers. So it's good to learn covers. I have to say that. I'm not going to play any covers right now because when I was 19, I actually made a vow to myself that I wasn't going to learn covers because whatever I learned, I wanted to develop my own style. I don't know if I got that. Still trying. Gotta say that Steve Stein, he's a great instructor. I've watched a lot of people on YouTube, you know, free stuff, and Steve's the only guy that nails it when he shows something. I don't, you know, a lot of the other guys actually trip up and they'll hit the wrong fret because hand-eye coordination when you're trying to teach, trying to talk and do stuff at the same, you know, I mean, it's hard to walk and chew gum at the same time, really, for a lot of people. Just Steve ain't like that. Steve actually got it together. I mean, he always nails it, what he's saying. I mean, every once in a while, but, you know, it's when, you know, he talks faster than his brain's working, but, man, the guy's all over it, and I appreciate it because he's actually gave me the liberty to, it's hard to explain. But, anyway, love Steve. Great instructor. I'm going to play a 12-string. I've never seen him with a 12-string in his hands, but anyway, I'm just going to play this thing. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Anyway, here we go. right, I showed off my Garrison. That's enough. I hope everybody has a good night. Thanks. See ya.